This is a video on how to back up your Notability to Google Drive and how to turn in your assignments into Google Classroom from Google Drive. There are some issues with just sending your assignments from Notability to Google Classroom. So this is a different way to do it, a little bit more direct way to do it. And since your documents in Google Drive are always accessible to you, you can always attach them from there to Google Classroom pretty easily. There's a couple things you need to do first, though, to make sure that it works correctly. So we're going to go into Notability first. And I'm using a student's iPad this time to make this video. I tried to make this video with my iPad, and it's just a little different because it's a teacher view of Google Classroom. So this is going to be a student view, which might be a little bit more helpful for students. So if you go into Notability, the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that your Notability is backed up to Google Drive. So if it's not, you're going to need to switch that on, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Otherwise, your documents that you work on won't be in Google Drive. If they're backed up, they will be in Google Drive. So if you look at the gauge at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, the cog, I'm going to press on that. And it comes up as themes, if you notice the word themes is highlighted, but I'm going to go to the top of the left-hand column. I'm going to look at auto backup. So notice that auto backup is now highlighted. And Google Drive is checked off, which is what I want it to be. I want to back up to Google Drive. And if you look down at underneath the Google Drive settings, it says, Notability is where there's going to be a folder in Google Drive called Notability, and the file format needs to be PDF. So take a look at the file format. I'm going to click on File Format. Those are your options, Note, PDF, and then some other options below that. You just want regular old PDF for this case, and that way when your documents get backed up there, they're backed up as PDFs, which are easily used everywhere. Okay, so this is all set. You need to make sure that your settings is backed up to Google Drive as PDFs. I'm going to close it. I'm going to go into an assignment that I'm going to be turning in, and I just want first for you to look at before I go into, we're going to go into the assignment called Inferencing at the top, but before we look at that, I want you to notice down by the cog on the bottom left-hand corner and the question mark and the little I for information and the trash can. When we come back onto the screen, I want you to notice the trash can because next to it, it will say every time you modify any document in Notability, when you go back to this home screen in Notability, it'll back everything up and it will say backing up and it will say when it's stopped or finished backing up. So let's go into inferencing. If I make any changes to this document whatsoever, this is already finished, but I'm going to make a little change just so that it will actually back it up. So let me go in and just make a silly change, like make this H a little bit better. Okay, so I made a tiny little change. Doesn't matter. Maybe I'm finishing the assignment. Maybe I'm checking to make sure it's all done. I'm going to take that arrow in the upper left-hand corner and go back to the home screen. And look at the bottom. It says backing up, and then it says stopped. That was kind of fast, but hopefully you saw that. If you go back to the home screen after you've made adjustments, it will remodify what you just did. Okay, so next step is that we are going to go into Google Classroom, and we are going to go into the assignment where this is meant to be, and we are going to turn it in. And we're going to turn it in from Google Drive. So I'm going to close this screen. And I'm going to go into Google Classroom. And I am going to pick the class, whatever class it is that it has to be turned into. And I'm going to hit classwork. So you're going to get out of the stream and go into classwork. And the assignment that this was, you can see it's highlighted in blue here because it was not turned in yet. Everything in gray has already been done and turned in. But the blue ones are not done yet. So I'm going to click on the blue number 4 ELA inferencing. And I'm going to, all the directions you can see in front of you. There was a video that had to be watched first, but I'm going to go into your work. And in your work, there is a copy of the assignment for this particular student. That is not what we want to turn in. That's the blank copy. I want to attach the student's work. So I'm going to hit Add Attachment. And we have options here. You know, if you had a photo that you wanted to attach, you could attach it here. You could take a photo and use the camera. But I know that my assignment that I want to attach is in Google Drive. So I hit Drive. I'm going to hit Notability because that's where it is. It was backed up from Notability. I was working in the ELA folder in Notability, so I'm going to hit ELA. And I am looking for something called inferencing. I did just need to swipe down so that it updated the most recent modifications, and when I did that, inferencing.pdf came up. So that's the assignment I want. If at this point you can't remember where you put it in Google Drive, like if you're having trouble finding it, you can always use that little search magnifying glass up at the top and just type in the title and it'll find it for you if it's there. And if it's backed up, it'll be there. So inferencing, I'm going to open it up. Basically, when I click on it, it's going to attach it. It takes a few seconds. If you noticed, it took maybe about 2 or 3 seconds for inferencing.pdf to show up. That is the assignment in its entirety completed. And I'm going to turn it in at this point. That's all it's going to take. I am at this point also going to delete the blank copy. I just think it's a little bit cleaner. When I turn it in, all the teacher will see is the student's work. It won't have a copy of both the blank and the filled in. So it depends on how your teacher sets up the assignment. Some teachers put the blank one in your work. Some put it in the actual instructions. So it's going to depend. But I'm going to take the yellow where it says copy of Google Classroom distance learning. I'm going to X that out and get rid of it, remove it, because all I really want to turn in is the student's work, which is the PDF. All right, I'm going to press turn in, and it just asks you again, you sure you want to turn it in? Yes, I do. Give it a couple seconds, and it will say assignment turned in. And if you ever need to unsubmit because you put the wrong thing in the wrong place, you can do that here too. You can go into unsubmit and reattach different things depending on your needs. Hopefully this helps the student view maybe being a little bit more relevant for students. All right, have a good one.